There are a great many things in the world that we talk about as if they were real, but they are just only judgments. You know, the only difference between a flower and a weed is a judgment, and that's true of people as well. Here's some things that don't exist in the world. Disasters, luck, a dumb bird, a normal attitude, a guarantee, a dreadful dress, a gorgeous hairdo, terrible language, a nice lady, an awful sight, a good boy, a stupid person. These are all judgments. And you have to learn the difference between judging and what is real. Some of the categories of where people dichotomize and judge are good and bad. They try to put the whole world into what is good and what is bad based upon some perception I have. And those things that don't fit into it the way I think they ought to be are bad, and all the things that I agree with are good. And so you find yourself going through your whole life running into half of the people or more who are doing things in a different way than you do and judging them all to be bad, and therefore being their victim because they now own your emotional strings. Remember, being a victim isn't necessarily a physical thing. In fact, that's very seldom the thing, because we have laws to protect each other from being physically abused by each other. It isn't as if somebody's putting you into a jail, into a cell. It is the victimization is what you experience in your mind and in your emotions. And this comes from judging, from categorizing, from compartmentalizing people and putting them into the compartments. And then when they don't fit with the behavior that you think they should exhibit, you find yourself upset and worked up and angry and hurt. Good and bad and right and wrong and beautiful and ugly. There's no beautiful people in the world. There's no ugly people in the world. People are just the way they are. They look exactly the way they do, the way they're supposed to look. They're part of the perfect intelligence that is in all things in the universe, that invisible intelligence that is within all of us. But if you categorize people that way, then you are finding yourself potentially a victim. It's really important to develop a quiet mind when it comes to all of this. A quiet mind is a mind that is at peace, a mind that doesn't judge. One of the things you learn about judgment is that you do not define anybody else with your judgments. You only define yourself as someone who needs to judge. Just because you label somebody else to be something obnoxious or nasty or hurtful doesn't mean that that's what they are. That's just your judgment, and that's your definition of yourself as someone who needs to judge. People are not defined by your judgments. People are defined by their own thoughts and their own actions that are subsequent to those thoughts. So learning not to judge and unclogging your mind, if you will, of judgments and negativity and quieting your mind. It's like if you could spend an hour a day in meditation. The great French philosopher and scientist Pascal said that all of man's troubles stem from his inability to sit quietly in a room alone. You sit quietly in a room alone and go within and discover that higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, whether you call it God or soul or spirit or Louise, it doesn't make any difference what you label it. If you go within and discover that and spend time each day inside of yourself, just peacefully being there and asking the questions, how may I serve? And what is my purpose? And what can I do to make this life a better one? And how can I serve people rather than be victimized by them or victimizing anybody else? You find that developing that kind of a quiet, peaceful, serene mind is something that will allow you to process the whole world in a more peaceful way. And when you get to that point where you are aligning yourself spiritually, or you are aligning yourself with the invisible part of your humanity, the part that defies form, that doesn't begin and doesn't end, when you align yourself there, and that becomes your first priority, you start noticing that you don't get victimized as much. I've really noticed that as I've gotten myself on a higher spiritual path and a more peaceful path for myself and more at ease with myself, that I've begun to take much better care of my body, that I notice that when I don't expect people to be abusive towards me, that I hardly ever see it anymore. It's really rare that I see it. I know that when I get in the car and I have a 17-mile ride to go to my home from my office, and there's a lot of traffic lights and there's a lot of traffic and a lot of slow drivers and so on, I know that when I visualize in advance in my mind that this is going to be a very pleasant experience, and I see myself, if somebody's cutting me off in advance, that I see myself not allowing myself to be upset and depressed by that. I see myself going through that whole process of driving all the way home in advance. This is before I've even opened the car. And I sort of play it out in my mind. And then I get in and I just allow the physical now to follow the thought that I just had, the visualization that I just had. And sure enough, somebody will get in there and cut me off or drive slowly or whatever. And for me, it's like I just see them as part of the perfection of it all. They're exactly where they're supposed to be at that moment. I'm no longer a victim. I have aligned myself first with my mind, knowing that I can create in my mind what I want, and then not allowing myself to be victimized when those things occur. And as I do that, I go through my life, I find that as I am more peaceful and I send out more harmony and more love and more forgiveness and more kindness and more of all the things I've been talking about on this tape, if you send that out more, that's what you get back. If you send out hostility and pain and suffering and anger and wanting to make other people wrong and wanting to prove yourself all the time, if you send out that kind of energy from yourself, that's exactly what you're going to get back. Send out love, you'll get back love. Send out anger and impatience, and that's what you'll get. Pulling your own strings truly is about looking within and knowing that no one can make you a victim without your consent. No one.
Imagine, if you will, that your life is not a single fixed timeline, but rather an infinite tapestry of potential realities, all existing simultaneously. You, my beloved, are the master weaver of this tapestry, constantly moving between these realities with each thought, each belief, and each assumption you hold to be true. But how can you know when you have shifted? How can you recognize that you are now experiencing a different version of your world? The first sign, and perhaps the most profound, is a sudden and inexplicable shift in your emotional state. You may find yourself feeling lighter, more joyful, more at peace with the world around you. This is not mere coincidence or a fleeting mood. It is a reflection of the new reality you have stepped into. In this new world, the very fabric of your being resonates at a higher frequency, attuned to the infinite love and abundance that is your true nature. Consider for a moment the times when you've experienced a sudden uplift in your mood, a sense of optimism that seemed to come from nowhere. This, my dear friends, is not random. It is a clear indication that you have shifted your consciousness to a reality where joy and positivity are your natural state of being. You have, in essence, attuned yourself to a different station on the cosmic radio, one that broadcasts endless possibilities and fulfilled desires. But the signs of your shift go beyond mere emotions. Look around you, observe the world with new eyes, and you will begin to notice subtle changes in your environment. Perhaps you find that traffic lights turn green just as you approach, or that you consistently find the perfect parking spot. These are not mere coincidences. They are manifestations of your new reality, one in which the universe conspires in your favor, smoothing your path and alienating circumstances to your benefit. In this new reality, you may also notice that your relationships begin to transform. People who once irritated you now seem more tolerable, even pleasant. Conflicts that once seemed insurmountable now resolve themselves with surprising ease. This is because in this new world, you are vibrating at a frequency of love and understanding, and the people around you cannot help but respond in kind. You have shifted to a reality where harmony and mutual respect are the norm, not the exception. Your physical body, too, provides evidence of your shift. You may find that chronic ailments begin to ease, that you have more energy, that you sleep more soundly. This is because in your new reality, health and vitality are your natural state. Your body is simply aligning itself with the perfection that you have always been, that you have now allowed yourself to experience. Another compelling sign of your shift is a newfound sense of synchronicity in your life. You may find that you think of someone only to have them call you moments later, or you may come across exactly the information you need precisely when you need it. These synchronicities are not mere chance. They are the universe responding to your thoughts and desires, confirming that you are in perfect alignment with your true self. In this new reality, you may also notice a shift in your perception of time. Days may seem to flow more smoothly without the usual sense of rush or urgency. You accomplish more, yet feel less stressed. This is because you have shifted to a reality where time is abundant, where you are always in the right place at the right time, effortlessly achieving your goals and fulfilling your desires. Your dreams, too, may become more vivid, more meaningful. You may find yourself having prophetic dreams or waking with solutions to problems that had previously baffled you. This is because in your new reality, the veil between your conscious and subconscious mind has thinned, allowing you greater access to the infinite wisdom that resides within you. One of the most telling signs that you have shifted realities is a newfound sense of purpose and direction in your life. Goals that once seemed unattainable now feel within reach. You may find yourself taking inspired action, moving confidently towards your desires without doubt or fear. This is because in your new reality, you are fully aligned with your true purpose, and the universe conspires to support you in every way. But perhaps the most profound sign of all is a shift in your sense of self. You may find that you no longer identify solely with your physical body or your personal history. Instead, you begin to recognize yourself as a vast infinite being capable of creating any reality you choose. This expanded sense of self is the true you, the eternal you now fully expressed in your everyday experience. My dear friends, these signs are not meant to be a checklist, something to anxiously monitor or force into being. They are natural expressions of your true state, glimpses of the infinite potential that you are. The very fact that you are hearing these words, contemplating these ideas, is itself a sign that you have already begun to shift. But you may ask, how can I consciously create these shifts? How can I move myself into these new, more desirable realities? The answer, my beloved, is simpler than you might imagine. It lies in the power of your imagination and your unwavering faith in the reality of your desires. To shift reality, you must first understand that your imagination is not a fantasy, not a mere daydream, but the very substance of reality itself. When you imagine a desired state, you are not creating something new, but rather tuning into a reality that already exists. Your task is simply to accept it, to feel its truth, to live from that state here and now. Begin by choosing a desire, something you wish to experience in your reality. It could be anything: perfect health, a loving relationship, abundant wealth, or a sense of deep inner peace. Now close your eyes and imagine that this desire is already fulfilled. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it in your mind's eye. Make it as real and as vivid as you possibly can. But do not stop there. The key to shifting realities is to persist in this imaginal act. You must live from the state of your wish fulfilled, not just for a moment or an hour, but consistently, persistently, until it becomes your dominant feeling state. This is what I mean when I say assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must become and feeling the person you would be if your desire were already a fact. As you persist in this state, you will begin to notice the signs we have discussed. Your emotions will shift, your outer world will respond, synchronicities will abound. These are all confirmations that you are indeed experiencing a new reality, but do not become attached to these signs or anxiously await them. Your only task is to persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to live as if your desires are already a fact. Remember, my dear friends, that time is no barrier in the realm of imagination. In your imagination, you can be and have anything you desire instantly. There is no waiting, no process of becoming. In the moment you truly accept and feel the reality of your imagined state, you have shifted. The outer world may take time to reflect this shift, but make no mistake, the shift has occurred the moment you accepted it as real. Now, some of you may be wondering about the mechanics of this process. How can simply imagining and feeling create such profound shifts in reality? The answer lies in the nature of consciousness itself. You are not a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences. You are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary physical experience. Your consciousness, your awareness, is the one and only reality. Everything you perceive as out there is really occurring within you. The entire universe exists within your consciousness. When you shift your consciousness through imagination and feeling, you are quite literally shifting the entire universe. This is why your outer world invariably conforms to your inner assumptions. It has no choice. It is not separate from you. It is you extended in space and time. When you grasp this truth, when you truly understand that there is no out there separate from your consciousness, you will understand the true power you wield in every moment. But my beloved, do not let this power frighten you or overwhelm you. It is your natural state, your birthright. You have been wielding this power along, creating your reality in every moment. The only difference now is that you are becoming conscious of the process, learning to direct it deliberately rather than unconsciously. As you begin to consciously shift your reality, you may encounter doubts or fears. Old beliefs and habits of thought may resist the new state you are attempting to assume. This is natural and to be expected. Remember, these doubts and fears are not obstacles to be overcome, but simply parts of the old reality you are leaving behind. When doubts arise, do not fight them or try to push them away. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Your persistence in the new state will eventually dissolve these doubts. Just as the sun inevitably disperses the morning mist, it's important to understand that shifting realities is not about forcing change or struggling against your current circumstances. It is about allowing yourself to be who you truly are, to experience the abundance and joy that is your natural state. You are not creating something new, but rather allowing your true self to express itself more fully in your experience. As you continue to practice living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you may find that your desires themselves begin to change. What once seemed important may no longer hold the same appeal. This too is a sign of your shift. As you align more closely with your true self, your desires naturally evolve to reflect your expanding consciousness. My dear friends, the process of shifting realities is not a one-time event but a continuous unfolding. Each shift opens up new possibilities, new potentials to explore. You are on an eternal journey of self-discovery and self-expression, constantly expanding and evolving. But remember, there is no ultimate destination, no final reality to reach. Each reality is perfect and complete in itself, a full expression of some aspect of your infinite being. Your task is not to reach some imagined perfect state, but to fully enjoy and appreciate each reality you experience, knowing that you have the power to shift at any moment. As you become more adept at consciously shifting realities, you may find that the very nature of your experience begins to change. The boundaries between different realities may begin to blur. You may have moments of expanded awareness where you can sense multiple realities simultaneously, understanding how they all fit together in the grand tapestry of existence. This expanded awareness can be both exhilarating and challenging. You may find yourself navigating between different versions of reality with increasing ease, but also with a growing sense of responsibility. For with great power comes great responsibility, and the power to consciously create your reality is the greatest power of all. But do not let this responsibility weigh you down. Remember that you are always supported, always guided by your higher self, by the infinite intelligence that is your true nature. Trust in this guidance, listen to your intuition, and you will always be led to the reality that serves your highest good and the highest good of all. As you continue to shift and expand your consciousness, you may also find that your sense of identity begins to change. The you that you thought you were, defined by your personal history, your physical attributes, your social roles, begins to feel less solid, less real. Instead, you begin to identify more with the awareness that observes all these things, the unchanging consciousness that persists through all your shifts and changes. This expanding sense of self is not a loss, but a tremendous gain. You're not losing yourself, but rather discovering your true self, the infinite eternal being that you have always been. As you embrace this larger identity, you will find a deep sense of peace and security that nothing in the external world can shake. From this expanded state of awareness, you begin to see that all the different realities you experience are like waves on the ocean of your consciousness. Each wave is unique and beautiful, but none of them define or limit the ocean itself. You are that ocean, vast, deep, and infinitely creative. As you navigate through these different realities, you may find that your purpose begins to shift as well, where once you may have been focused on personal gain or achievement. You may now feel called to serve others, to help them awaken to their own power to create reality. For as you shift and expand, you naturally lift others around you, inspiring them by your example. But remember, my dear friends, that even this desire to serve is just another experience, another reality to explore. Do not become attached to it or make it into a burden. Allow it to flow through naturally as an expression of your expanding love and awareness. As we near the end of our time together, I want to remind you that the side which discussed the emotional shifts, the synchronicities, the changes in your outer world are not the goal. They are simply signposts, confirmations of the inner shift that has already occurred. The true shift happens within, in the quiet sanctuary of your own consciousness. Your task, your joy, your privilege is simply to be aware, to watch with wonder and gratitude as your reality unfolds, knowing that it is all a reflection of your own magnificent, infinite being. Whether you experience what you consider positive or negative circumstances, know that it is all an expression of some aspect of your consciousness. Embrace it all. Learn from it all. Enjoy it all. For in the end, this is why you are here, not to reach some final perfect state, but to experience the joy of creating, the thrill of exploration, the wonder of discovering yourself anew in each moment. My beloved, you leave here today, know that you have already shifted. The very fact that you have heard and contemplated these ideas is proof that you are no longer the same person you were when you arrived. You have expanded, you have grown, you have shifted to a new level of awareness. Go forth now and live from this new awareness. Allow yourself to be surprised and delighted by the new reality that unfolds around you. Trust in your power to shift at any moment, to create anew in every instant, for you are the operant power, the one and only creator of your experience. Remember, the entire universe exists to express the magnificence that you are. Every person, every circumstance, every experience is a gift, an opportunity to know yourself more fully, to express your true nature more completely. Embrace it all with love and gratitude, knowing that it is all a reflection of your infinite eternal being. And so, my dear friends, as we bring this discourse to a close, I invite you to take a moment to feel the reality of who you truly are. Close your eyes if you wish, and allow yourself to expand beyond the confines of your physical body, beyond the limitations of your personal history, beyond even the boundaries of this present moment. Feel yourself as the vast, infinite awareness that you are. Feel the awareness that you are. Feel the power that flows through you, the power to create worlds, to shift realities, to experience the fullness of existence in every moment. Feel the love that you are, the love that embraces all of creation, that knows no boundaries or conditions. From this expanded state, look at your life with new eyes. See the perfection in every detail, the divine order in every circumstance. Know that you have created it all, and that you have the power to create anew in every moment. Feel the freedom that comes with this knowledge, the joy of being the conscious creator of your experience. As you move forward from this moment, carry this awareness with you. Let it infuse every thought, every word, every action. Live from the state of your wishes fulfilled, not as a technique or a practice, but as the natural expression of who you truly are. For you are the blessing you seek, the love you desire, the abundance you crave. You are all of it here and now. Go forth, my beloved, and create consciously. Shift realities with joy and abandon. Explore the infinite possibilities that lie within you. And always remember the truth of who you are, the one and only creator of your experience, the infinite, eternal being expressing itself in human form. You are blessed. You are loved. You are infinite. Now go and live from that truth and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. For truly the kingdom of heaven is within you, and it is from this inner realm that all outer realities spring forth. Thank you, my dear friends, for allowing me to share these truths with you. May your journey of conscious creation be filled with joy, wonder, and endless discovery. Remember, you are the miracle you seek, the power you revere, the love you long for. Embrace this truth, live from this truth, and watch as miracles unfold in every area of your life. Go now in peace and in power, knowing that you carry within you the ability to shift to any reality you desire. The choice is yours, the power is yours, the creation is yours. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and above all, use it consciously. For in your conscious use of this power lies the key to your freedom, your fulfillment, and your ultimate realization of who you truly are. And so it is.